Let's say, for the sake of argument, that we accept that all people the world over deserve to live in safety, freedom, and the full abundance offered to all of us by the rich bounty of the earth and the limitless energy of the sun. Free from the artificial limitations of persecution, exclusion, subjugation, and hierarchy. This can't just be taken for granted as natural and inevitable because these forces in fact exist and actively harm people. So the statement, "we are all equal," is not merely descriptive but prescriptive and a prescription against the denial of equality. Furthermore, the world is vast and complex. I can, sitting in my bedroom in Toronto, speak of the importance of freedom and well-being for Indigenous peoples everywhere and for the people of West Papua, the Republic of Artsakh, Palestine, Somaliland, Punjab, Kashmir, Yemen, Venezuela, East Turkestan, or Rakhine in particular, but it would be impossible for me to know the full situation in any, let alone all of these places. And my choice of names is already inherently political and automatically places me on a side in a conflict. But it does not imply animosity against the people of Indonesia, Azerbaijan, Israel, Arabia, India, China, or Burma, or a desire to see them destroyed or their perspectives erased. In Kashmir, 40-some Indian military personnel were just killed in an attack. Should I praise this out of opposition to the occupation and atrocities those in the region have suffered at the hands of the Indian military, or can I insist upon their capacity for self-determination and freedom from persecution without supporting any particular action taken to accomplish that goal? According to the Indian government, claims of persecution and occupation are false, and this was merely one of many terrorist attacks against their forces performed by Pakistan-affiliated terrorist groups. I am not Kashmiri, or Indian, or Pakistani. I was not involved. So how can I know who is telling the truth? Any rebel organization will always refer to the atrocities by those they wish to escape. Any state opposing rebels will deem them to be illegitimate terrorists. If I were to invest many hours into understanding the situation in Kashmir well enough to form a truly educated opinion, I would not have spent that same amount of time studying the situation in Artsakh or West Papua. Yet I would still stand for a world in which all people can be free from persecution and subjugation, not only those with whose plight I am intimately familiar. Similarly, in proclaiming support for the freedom of Palestine, I do not mean to privilege the legitimacy of far-right Palestinian elements whose homophobic or misogynistic values I would otherwise oppose. Indeed, in wanting an end to the occupation, I want improved outcomes, not only for straight cis Muslim Palestinian men, but for women and queer people who suffer today under occupation and could suffer under a right-wing Palestinian government after occupation. As just one person, with limited time and awareness, all I can do is seek to amplify those voices which it seems to me are not being adequately heard. I cannot speak for the voiceless. I can only listen, interpret, repeat, and elaborate upon to the best of my ability those voices which I've heard, privileging those who I intuit have been treated unfairly, who deserve more consideration. Other forms of solidarity are less fraught. Because there are those who demean and dehumanize drug users, I can stand up for their validity and speak on their behalf. Because there are those who humiliate and invalidate trans and non-binary people, I can insist on the complexity of gender diversity. Because systems of control and domination dehumanize people by labeling them as illegal, I can call for their equality as well and fight those who deny it to them. Because some people use the term autistic as an insult, and those with autism suffer in ways that neurotypicals do not, I can stand for inclusion and understanding of cognitive diversity as well, but not everything is so straightforward, and I am not perfect or free from biases. Therefore, I will seek to fight passionately for equality while remaining open to learning and accept the mistakes of others who endeavor to change, and hope that I also will be accepted and forgiven my mistakes. To a better future for everyone, including those whose struggles I do not or cannot understand.